If you've been on the spiritual journey for some time, you've definitely experienced some level of high or some experience which just feels absolutely amazing. You feel like, oh my gosh, this is it, this is it. And then the next day, or a few days after, or a week after, it disappears. So why does that happen? Why is that the case? And how can we make these higher or more blissful feelings and experiences more permanent? I've had my fair share of highs through meditation, experiences that have lasted days, weeks, these super highs. And I know a lot of people have had a lot of experiences of oneness, where they felt they've seen God and they feel like they've made it, and then the next day everything that was there, sadness, fear, etc., all of those emotions or just the normal state of being just comes back, and it's like, oh, what happened? It's like, what did I do wrong? Where did it disappear? And the first thing you need to realize from this is that when we experience these spiritual highs, we're experiencing a high point. We're experiencing an experience. And because it's a high point, that means that it's higher than what our normal state is used to being at or resonating at. And there's this gap that gets created where it's like, okay, this is the high and this is where we're experiencing our life normally, and there's this gap. And this gap is filled through integration, especially when it is dealing with your nervous system. Because if we experience this high, because it's a high, if you experienced it regularly, just like if you were experiencing excitement, think of like the last time you were excited, and if you were excited for 24 hours, how exhausting would that be for your nervous system and your body? And it's a similar thing when it comes to these highs. They're more so showing you the door that, hey, you can actually come up to this level. But there's a work to slowly, gradually bring yourself up to where you're able to used to resonating at this level. And the nervous system is like a bridge between the physical and non-physical for yourself, for your body. And so it takes some time to, one, get your body used to feeling a lighter vibration, which is, continuing your practice of meditation or what that may be, of eating foods that are lighter, of doing yoga or various other practices. But also a work needs to be done in removing the blocks that are there existing in your body, in your nervous system, which again, that these highs highlight. A lot of the times what's happened in my experiences is that I'll experience these highs, and then when the high wears off, it's like this bucket of mess comes up, which is like, hey, you've experienced this high, but this mess is why you're not there as a permanent state or more stable state. So this is what you need to deal with. And it's a funny sort of paradox that happens where if you want to experience the highest of the highs, you've also got to be willing to experience the lowest of the lows. I remember a quote where someone was like, how do you not be affected by negative comments or remarks by people? And it's by not being affected by the positive remarks either. If you're not influenced by either, then you'll be fine with whatever people say. And that kind of, when it comes to that particular quote, there's some sort of insecurity involved as to why someone may be wanting or be influenced by the positive and being affected negatively by the negative comments. Similarly, when you're chasing highs, it's usually pointing to that there's something that you're not satisfied or accepting about your life the way it is, which is the reason why these highs feel so high, and you want them and you want to chase them continuously, and these lows are being avoided. And that brings us to an important point, because the best way to be comfortable with the highs and the lows is to realize that no matter what your experience is, no matter whether you feel high or low, there's something that comes before that. There's something that's deeper than that, which is your awareness. the witness. No matter what you experience, you may not even you may experience that you're not the body, that you may have an experience of the soul, something that is extrasensory, that is non-physical, non-tangible, but that still is being witnessed by something. There is still a container of that experience. And this is actually how you get more to this state of permanent, quote unquote, high, bliss, or contentment. Because really, what we're saying is, when we want these highs to be permanent, we're saying that we just want this feeling to be permanent. What do you feel would be a greater thing? Trying to chase the highs and avoid the lows, or having the highs and the lows, but neither of them matter, or neither of them affect you or make you unbalanced or unstable. The greater power lies in being the awareness, of being the witness of that which the experience exists within, occurs within. And this gives you this ultimate feeling of freedom, because your internal and external circumstances you realize that they don't affect you, yourself, the beingness that is there. There's a contentment that stays with you, a feeling of openness and boundlessness. Something that goes deeper than the highest of the high. Something that is supportive and cradles you in the lowest of the low. And when you're able to anchor as the witness, as the awareness, then you become immovable. When you anchor as this witness, as awareness, well, then there is no I or person that wants to chase these highs or lows. It just is. Life just bees life. Life just is. You see things as they are. You see things with clarity. The high is here, the low is here. It doesn't affect you. And ironically, you do open yourself up to experience even higher highs. And there is a bliss that stays with you. Bliss not in the sense of an emotion or feeling. Just this contentment, this still lake. And it's that makes this, or makes these highs last. So to summarize, what is a spiritual high? It's a high point. It's a point that our body hasn't adjusted to yet. And so there's this gap that we need to fill in through integration, working with our nervous system, things like the 5 Tibetan rites, eating lighter foods, continuously meditating and doing your practice, and removing the blocks that are preventing you from experiencing the highs. Because if you're chasing the highs, if you keep wanting the highs, to some level it means that you're resisting the lows, that you don't want to experience the lows. And wherever resistance exists, that thing you're resisting to will persist. Energy flows where attention goes, so you chasing the high is giving attention to that you don't want to experience the low. But more importantly is to realize that these highs and lows and experiences exist within the awareness, which is in the background, which is more permanent and is anchoring as this awareness that gives you this permanent feeling of freedom or contentment, because the highs don't matter or the lows don't matter. Everything just is. Now, simple it is in the explanation, but obviously there's some work involved. That's why I have free meditations on my website to help you adjust and be non-resisting to those lows, to heal those blocks, to make it easier to be present and accepting of what the moment is. And of course, to take it further, I do offer one-to-one private sessions. So if this video helped you, served you in any way, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Share with a friend that may need to hear this. And other than that, we'll see you in the next video.